Welcome back to Freemason Reacts. Today I'll be looking at a video called 33rd Degree Documents Reveals Forbidden Practices of Freemasons. This is by a channel called Quazi Johir, who has 882,000 subscribers, and this video has had almost 100,000 plays in just a few days. So let's find out what this hidden 33rd degree Masonic mystery is all about. Let's go.
Something strange is happening. For centuries, Freemasonry has operated in the shadows. Presidents, world leaders, intelligence officers, corporate elites, many of them have been linked to this secret society, but we were never supposed to know what actually goes on behind those closed doors until now. See, in the last few months, Freemasonry secrets have started leaking online, and the internet is paying attention. On TikTok, leaked Masonic rituals and behind-the-scenes footage are going viral, amassing millions of views. People are finally seeing what actually happens inside the lodge.
Are they saying that this is a Masonic lodge? Scattered shoes in a cave? I'm sorry, but Masonic lodges look more like this, like this, like this, like this, and like this. They're not caves with little children's shoes. Just because somebody slapped a G and a square and compass above a cave line doesn't mean that that's a Masonic lodge, or that they're uncovered some sort of diabolical scam or scheme.
Symbolic gestures, coded phrases, secret handshakes. Now, at the same time, curiously, a major Freemasonic leader, Reverend Canon Dr. Joseph Morrow, suddenly resigned. No explanation, no warning, just gone.
Yeah, he is a Mason who is Scottish. Later on, he will convolute that with Scottish Rite Masonry, which are two different things. This man is a Mason, and he is from Scotland, and he resigned for no apparent reason. Who cares?
And here's the real question. Why now? Why is Freemasonry being exposed at this exact moment? Why are their members suddenly stepping down? And more importantly, what secrets are they trying to hide?
Masons' membership rolls have been declining since the end of the 19th century and throughout the beginning of the 20th century. And the reasons are quite simple. In the Gilded Age of the United States, in the late 19th century, there were such things called mutual beneficial societies. And because there was no Social Security, and there was very little insurance, and there were very little social networks or supports to help people, it was necessary for people to band into fraternities in order to be able to help themselves and their families when people passed on. There were many such fraternities with millions of members, Freemasonry just being one of them, others being the Odd Fellows, Knights of Pythis, Modern Woodsmen of America. There are dozens and dozens of fraternities. And the decline of them comes from the fact that now we have things like Social Security. That's why rolls are declining.
There's this one document that holds all the answers.
Oh.
A document that was never meant for the public. A book written by a 33rd degree Freemason himself, revealing what Freemasonry is really about. And this book is called Morals and Dogma.
Okay, first of all, Morals and Dogma is not a book that was ever meant to be read by anyone, because it's not really a book. It's a collection of lectures that were meant to be spoken. They were put together by Albert Pike, was never meant to be published, and had to be edited. There are lots and lots of errors in Morals and Dogma, things that Albert Pike would have definitely removed. And in the beginning of Morals and Dogma, everyone is entirely free to reject and dissent from whatsoever herein may seem to him to be untrue or unsound. It is only required of him that he shall weigh what is taught and give a fair hearing and an unprejudiced judgment. Albert Pike, this book, Morals and Dogma, is not the end-all be-all of Freemasonry. It's one man's collection of lectures that was never edited and never really meant to be published. It is widely available. You could buy a copy of Morals and Dogma on Amazon for just a few dollars. It's not expensive. You can get a reprint. You know? It's all there. I also have an original copy of Morals and Dogma, printed in 1926. This particular edition of Morals and Dogma was owned by a 33rd degree Mason, a man by the name of Charles Sumner Lobinger, 33rd degree Mason. Inside his book of Morals and Dogma are all of his notes as a 33rd degree Mason, all his personal side notes. I've read this book. I've read his notes. So it qualifies me as a 32nd degree Mason myself. I have a copy of Morals and Dogma that was owned by a 33rd degree Mason, and not just any 33rd degree Mason. This man was an ambassador to China for the United States and argued in front of the Supreme Court of the United States, if I'm not mistaken. So let's hear what this man is about to say about Morals and Dogma, who probably has never read the book. Let's see what he has to say.
By the end of this video, you're going to understand why this book changes everything and why you were never supposed to read it. So, most people think Freemasonry is just a fraternity of initiation that reveal deeper and deeper secrets only to those who prove themselves worthy.
That's not true. You don't have to prove yourself worthy to gain the secrets of Freemasonry. If you want to know the secrets of Freemasonry, go to Amazon and buy the book and read it. And you'll know just as much as anybody else, just as much as me, just as much as the 33rd degree Mason, as much as anyone else. It's all here. It's widely available. Buy it. Buy the book. Read it. He hasn't.
And this book, Morals and Dogma, written in 1871 by Albert Pike, a 33rd degree Freemason, was designed only for those at the highest levels.
That's not true. It's designed only for the people of the highest level? Well, then why is it on Amazon? What's the secret? There's not a single word in this version that is in this version. They're both the same. They're exactly the same. You can download the PDF off the Internet Archive.
Now here's where it gets crazy. Pike openly states that lower-ranking Masons are deliberately misled. He confirms that only the highest initiates are given the real secrets of Freemasonry. He also explains that Masonic symbols contain hidden meanings, ones that control perception and actually shape reality itself.
Okay, yes. In Morals and Dogma, Pike does stress that some of the symbols are deliberately misleading, but not in a sinister or evil manner of misleading. They're misleading to those who just look at them and don't try to find something deeper within them. Trying to say lower-ranking Masons are deliberately misled is like taking a science class and the teacher is teaching you Newtonian physics and then saying that they're deliberately misleading you because they didn't teach you about Einstein's theory of relativity. No, there's just a deeper meaning. Knowledge builds upon itself. When you're being deliberately misled, all he's meaning is that many Masons don't pursue the deeper meaning. But this is due to a lack of effort and not because they're being intentionally deceived. And this end part here, where he says contains hidden meanings, ones that control perceptions and shape reality itself, that's nowhere in Morals and Dogma, and that's nowhere in Freemasonry. That is this guy trying to sell you his self-help plan.
Now, this book was never meant for the average Mason, let alone the public. And when you start reading it, you realize Freemasonry isn't just a secret society. It's a system designed to control reality itself.
That's not true. Freemasonry is not a system to control reality. We're not Jedi, all right? We don't use the Force, Luke. We do good stuff. We help people. We do charity work.
Let's break this down. Most Freemasons only progress through 3 basic degrees.
There are only 3 degrees in Masonry.
Entered apprentice, beginner level, they're given...
Entered apprentice is not beginner level. The 3 levels of Masonry, entered apprentice, fellow craft, and master Mason, are representative of youth, adulthood, and age.
Basic rituals and symbolism, but nothing truly deep. Number 2,
I would totally disagree. There's symbols in the Entered Apprentice that are truly deep. The Entered Apprentice is taught the working tools of the Entered Apprentice, the 24-inch gauge and the common gavel. The 24-inch gauge teaches us about using our time, 24 inches, 24 hours in a day, how to divide our time and use it wisely. Is that not an important symbol?
fellow craft, more advanced teachings, but still surface level.
I completely disagree. It's not surface level. The Fellowcraft degree represents adulthood. The Fellowcraft degree teaches us many important skills, like the square, being square with someone. Have you ever been square with someone? You ever said, hey man, we're level, we're square? That's Masonic. That's what you learn in the Fellowcraft degree. Don't lie, don't cheat, be a good person.
Level number 3, Master Mason. The highest rank for most members, but not where the real knowledge is kept. And
A Master Mason, the 3rd degree, is the last degree in Masonry. There are other degrees in Masonry from appendant organizations, but that's just side stuff. It's not the real thing.
where Albert Pike exposes the truth. The blue degrees are but the outer court or portico of the temple. This basically means that the majority of Masons are kept in ignorance.
The majority of Masons are not kept in ignorance. The majority of Masons don't bother looking any deeper. It's not sinister. It's the fact that people don't go the extra effort to learn.
Symbolic teachings, but are never told what they really mean.
They're never told what they really mean because we all have to learn these lessons for ourselves. These are things that we have to learn from ourselves, from our hearts. Things that you're told the meaning of don't really mean that much. When you discover their meaning and put them into practice, that's when things have a deep meaning.
Those who go beyond the basic levels, who enter the Scottish Rite and climb up to the 33rd degree.
Okay, hold on. Let's stop. All right, let's stop here. There's Masonry, 3 degrees. Okay? Outside of Masonry, you have what are called appendant organizations. Take a good careful look at this chart here. Let's start at the top. We have women orders. White Shrine of Jerusalem, Eastern Star, Amaranth. Social orders. We have Grotto, Tall Cedars, Shriners, the Shriners hospitals, the ones that treat children with cancer for free, save millions of lives. Then you have the Scottish Rite Freemasons, northern and southern jurisdictions. Then you've got youth orders, which are Demolay for boys, Job's Daughter for girls, and also Rainbow Girls. Then over here you've got further York Rite bodies, like the Knights of the York Cross, York Rite Sovereign College. Then you have York Rite Freemasonry, Knights Templar, Royal Arch. All of these are outside the 3 degrees of Freemasonry. The center is the important part. All of this outside stuff is periphery. He's concentrating on just one section here, Scottish Rite. These all have degrees. York Rite has degrees, not 33. Does that mean that's not actual Masonry? There are lots of different types of organizations when it comes to Freemasonry. Dozens. But he's just going to take one, the Scottish Rite, and then concentrate on one person who wrote one book of the hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people who have been Masons, the thousands of authors who've written books, and he's going to concentrate on one.
Actually given the full picture. And Pike admits this openly. It's not intended that he shall understand them, but it is intended that he shall imagine he understands them.
Right. Once again, to repeat, Masons and even the average person don't pursue the deeper meanings. But this is due to a lack of effort and not because they're being intentionally deceived. There's a very important difference.
Other words, lower level Masons think they know what is going on.
They might not. It depends on them.
They don't. They're being conditioned, slowly exposed to half-truths, while the real knowledge is hidden at the top. So,
the real knowledge is hidden at the top? Hidden in the top of this book you can buy on Amazon? It's all here. All the secrets. Read it. Supposedly, these are all the secrets. Or so to him. He's so hung up on Albert Pike.
Is the real knowledge. What do 33rd degree Freemasons actually learn?
They learn nothing. Nothing. There's no ritual for the 33rd degree. It's an honorary title that's granted to some Masons who go above and beyond. Normally, they're political people or generals, powerful politicians, successful businessmen. It's an honorary title. Others become 33rd degree Masons because they do such great work that the other 32nds get together and they vote them in. All right? But it's an honorary title. There's no secret knowledge. They don't learn some magical word that turns them into a Jedi Knight. It doesn't work that way.
Well, this is where things get really disturbing, because according to Pike, Freemasonry is about far more than just rituals and philosophy. It's actually about understanding the hidden forces that shape reality itself.
That particular quote that he has up there is not in this book. And I encourage you to go and find a PDF of Morals and Dogma, search for that phrase, and you will not find it. That's him writing that in. Albert Pike never said that. He's not sourcing that from anywhere. He's just making that up off the top of his head.
This raises some questions. Why are symbols so important in Freemasonry?
Symbols are important in Freemasonry because they remind us of the things that we need to do. We have a square so that we're on the square, on the level with people. The compass draws a circle to keep your vices within due bounds towards all mankind. The 24-inch gauge reminds us of our time. Common gavel breaks off the corners of rough stones, better to fit them for the builder's use, to shape our ashlar from a rough ashlar into a perfect ashlar, a square, a brick. That's what we're all aiming for. It's a goal that you're trying to achieve. You don't get there and get some sort of magic power, as he's suggesting. Or, well, at least he's going to try to sell you.
Hidden principles of reality do only the highest members learn? And most importantly, how is this knowledge actually being used to control the masses?
There is no power being used to control the masses. That's insanity. And Freemasonry doesn't teach you to change your reality. It's ridiculous. It could change your personal way you look at yourself and teach you to become a better person. But, I'm not going to make X-Wing fighters float off the ground like Yoda.
Side, Morals and Dogma actually reveals how Freemasonry connects to world power structures, how reality itself is manipulated, and how those at the top use this esoteric secret knowledge to maintain control.
There is hardly anything political in Morals and Dogma. And what is political in the book normally is teaching a lesson about how to live life well through the errors and the mistakes of political failures in the past or persecutions in the past. There's nothing in the book about how to control people, how to control people's minds. That's just ridiculous.
That's exactly what we're going to break down in this video. So now that you understand why Morals and Dogma is so important, we actually need to go deeper. The question becomes, what are the actual hidden teachings in this book? How does Freemasonry use these teachings to control, influence, and manipulate people and shape reality itself? And most importantly, why were these secrets only meant for the 33rd degree?
All right. So you can buy the book and read it yourself. You don't need him to tell you what's in this book because he hasn't read it. Read it yourself. You'll see. It's a tough read. It's a dense work. When you come across a word or some sort of phrase or some sort of thing in the book, which might not be common knowledge to most people, people in the ancient past, that there's a book when you run across it, you can look it up to find out what he's talking about. There's books like Commentaries on Morals and Dogma, where it goes through each degree and gives you a rough let me get that in focus. Gives you sort of like a rough idea of what the degree is about. These books are available. You can buy these books. It's not hidden.
Let's get right to it in this next section right now. Okay, so everyone's heard of Freemasonry, but very few people actually know about the 33rd degree, because
dude, that's all anybody ever talks about is the 33rd degree.
Masons never even come close to reaching it. See, Freemasonry is structured like a pyramid, and the vast majority of Masons never...
It's not a pyramid. No brother is above another. A 33rd degree Mason doesn't tell an entered apprentice to go make him coffee. It doesn't work that way. We're all brothers. It's all equal. Whether you're a Master Mason or a 33rd degree Scottish Rite. 33rd degree Scottish Rite comes into my Blue Lodge, no one cares. I've had lunch with 33rd degrees. It's no big deal. It's not some secret thing where they can make... They're not Neo from the Matrix.
Really get past the lower levels. Most will stop at the 3rd degree thinking they've reached the peak. But
they have. They have reached the peak. That's the end. Everything after that is just relearning or reteaching the first 3.
Even close to the real secrets. See, beyond the basic 3 degrees, there's an entirely different system called the Scottish Rite, which extends up to the 32nd degree.
Of course, he's not showing you the other side. The other side of this here, that's York Rite. That doesn't have 33 degrees. They got the Order of the Knights Templar here, holding this banner with a 33rd degree. How come he's not talking about this guy? What's the Order of the Knights Templar guy have? What kind of magician is he?
Then, at the very top, there's the 33rd degree, a level so secretive that only a handful of people in the world will ever reach it.
It's not a handful of people. I've met 6. It's not a handful of people. It's more than you might think. Look at Maynard Edwards on the Scottish Rite channel. He's a 33rd degree Mason. It's an honor.
Is by initiation only. You cannot apply to it. You cannot work your way up to it.
That is correct. Right. And from what I understand, if a 32nd degree Mason asks, how do I become a 33rd degree Mason? That's pretty much it. You'll never be one. Unless you do something extraordinary. Because only extraordinary people get that honor.
Chosen. So the real question is, who gets chosen and why? Well,
they get chosen because their peers choose them.
Reveals how power really works in the world. So to understand why the 33rd degree is so important, let's break down what makes it so different from the other degrees. In Morals and Dogma, Albert Pike, a 33rd degree Freemason himself, reveals that Freemasonry is split into 2 main groups. Number 1, the majority of Masons, these are your everyday members who go through the rituals, attend meetings, and believe they're learning the secrets of Freemasonry. But in reality, they're being fed surface-level teachings. Level 2.
Please tell me, where did Albert Pike say that? He can't, because he never did.
Second group, the initiated elite. This is the small group that reaches the 33rd degree, and according to Pike, this is where the real teachings actually begin.
It's not true. It's not true. There's nothing taught in the 33rd degree. It's an honorary title given to people who are a 32nd degree and have done extraordinary things for either the fraternity or in business or in politics.
Here's where it gets super interesting. Unlike the other degrees, the 33rd degree isn't about learning more rituals or history. It's about something else entirely. Number 1, esoteric knowledge, understanding the hidden forces that actually shape reality.
That's not true. It's not true.
2, mastering perception and influence, how symbols and archetypes control the subconscious. And number 3, power over the masses, the ability to manipulate belief systems on a global scale.
This sounds like that movie The Secret from the early 2000s. Remember that one? You know, if you think about something hard enough, you can manifest it in reality.
Albert Pike makes this very clear when he writes, Masonry, like all religions, conceals its secrets from all except the adepts and sages.
That's nowhere in his books. I would like to know where he found that quote, where he got it from, and what book it came from, because that quote is not in this book. It's not. It's not in this book.
Basically means that even inside Freemasonry, there's a division between those who know and those who don't. And here,
if there's a division between those who know and those who don't, it's those who don't choose not to, and those who do choose to.
Where things get even stranger. If this level is so exclusive, who gets chosen? Well, when you look at the people who have reached the 33rd degree, a pattern starts to emerge. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 33rd degree Freemason. The man who's reshaped America.
Right, he's president of the United States, and he's a Scottish Rite Mason. If you're a Scottish Rite Mason, and you're a 32nd degree Mason, and you become president of the United States, yeah, they're probably going to make you a 33rd degree. Yeah, not surprising.
Financial system. J. Edgar Hoover, 33rd degree Freemason, the first director of the FBI who collected secret files on world leaders.
Again, not surprising. He was the head of the FBI. I'm a 32nd degree Mason. If I became head of the FBI, they'd probably make me a 33rd degree Mason.
And Churchill, 33rd degree Freemason, who led Britain through World War II.
The question you have to ask yourself is this. Did they become as powerful as they are because they were 33rd degree Masons? Or were they made 33rd degree Masons because they were powerful people?
Lyndon Johnson, 33rd degree Freemason, who took over after JFK's assassination.
Ask yourself the question.
Walt Disney, 33rd degree.
Now we get him in a lie. Walt Disney was not a 33rd degree Mason. He was not even a Mason. He was a member of the Demolay, if you remember correctly here. This, here in the bottom, the boys club here, Demolay, the Demolay. It's a youth order. Walt Disney was a member of Demolay when he was a child, but he never, ever stepped foot in a Masonic lodge and became an entered apprentice or fellow craft or master Mason, let alone joined Scottish Rite and became a 32nd degree, or was then given the honorary title of 33rd. So this is just a complete lie. He's lying to you. And if he's lying to you about this, what else is he lying about?
Freemason whose company shaped modern entertainment. These are not just random individuals. These are people who shaped history, controlled narratives, and influenced millions. So,
people who control millions, influence people and control millions, like this guy's trying to do right here, with his almost 1 million subscribers.
Is it really a coincidence that so many world leaders, intelligence operatives, and cultural icons were 33rd degree Masons?
Or is it the fact that cultural icons, political leaders, and businessmen were given the title? Because there are a lot of 33rd degree Masons. Go to the Scottish Rite's channel on YouTube. Maynard Edwards, he's a 33rd degree Mason. He's not famous. He's not some billionaire. He's not president of the United States. Go to the Valley of Jacksonville here in Florida. Go down there. Find out what night they're having dinner. You can have dinner with them. You'll sit down with them. There's probably going to be a couple 33rd degrees sitting there. You talk to them. Ask them. Go to your local lodge. Talk to them. Ask them. It's not a secret.
Degrees, the 33rd degree isn't about learning. It's about initiation into a higher level of power. Albert Pike writes, "To the crowd, we must say we worship a God, but it is the God that one adores without superstition."
Once again, where's your source? That statement, that quote, is not from this book. I don't know where he gets it from. I don't know where he's getting these quotes from. Because, of course, he doesn't source anything he said. But he didn't get it from this.
Symbols aren't just decoration, they shape thought. Belief systems aren't just philosophy, they control behavior. Power isn't just politics, it's control over perception itself.
Yeah, and it goes on in such like manner. He doesn't. Okay, let's get to another Albert Pike quote here that he's going to get wrong again. Here we go.
Antiquity are not merely allegorical, they are the vehicles of the most profound truths.
Once again, I did a search through the PDF. This is not from Morals and Dogma. He's making this up. If it is from another book, please put a source. We'd like to know.
Symbols aren't just decoration, they are programmed.
All right, and what we end up here with is, okay, yeah, so, if you want to be famous, whatever, yeah, and then, yeah, then we get to this, right? Shape your own reality, and then we get this, right?
Personal example of mine, one of my clients, Caleb, came into my reality mastery program struggling to break past 2 to 3K a month in his e-commerce business.
Oh, he's struggling
He had
with
the
his
skills,
business.
he was putting in the work, but no matter how much he grinded, his income stayed the same.
Right.
Then he learned how to make the identity shift.
Oh, hold on. This is your client, right? Oh, so he paid you money, right? And now suddenly his business has gotten better? Oh, I get it. So you're shilling Masonry, right? Trying to claim that we have some sort of powers that we really don't have. And then now he's claiming that he has the same powers because he spent the $9.99 to buy Morals and Dogma and then made up a bunch of quotes that aren't correct and named people who aren't even Masons as Masons to claim that they have some sort of superpower. But in reality, all he's doing is trying to convince you to give him money. Well, do you really want to know what the difference is here between Masonry and this guy? We don't beg for your money. Masons don't walk up to you and beg for your money. As a matter of fact, we do the opposite. If your child has cancer, you bring them to a Shriners Hospital and they'll do the stuff for free. You want to know what Masons do? I'll show you what Masons do. This is what we do. This is what Masons do. We get together and we have dinner and we have a good time and we raise money for charity. That particular night, we raised over $400 for charity. That's what Masonry is about. Getting together, having dinner, having a good time, sitting down, enjoying each other's company, and doing good. If you want to find out about Masonry, ask a Mason. Don't ask a YouTube influencer.